What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got for you two stories from r/BestOf Redditor updates. You know they're great because we get to find out what happens in the end. Gone are the days of me wondering, well, that was an amazing story, but I don't know what happened. That's the beauty of this subreddit. Every story today has a conclusion. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and listen to this for the title of the first. My boyfriend says he's disgusted by my body hair and I have to laser remove it and pay for it or else he'll leave me. He says I'm not taking his happiness into consideration, and if I can't sacrifice this for him, what else won't I be willing to sacrifice down the road? I am a 28-year-old woman and I've been dating my 33-year-old boyfriend for 14 months. A few days ago, he confessed he is disgusted by my body hair and wants me to get laser done on my forearms, private area, and legs. At first I said no because I accept my body as it is, and he's never expressed any complaints about my hair before. To be honest, you can't really see my forearm hair, it's just a bit of very subtle blonde hair. I wax my legs once a month and groom my private area as often as needed. I'm not even a hairy person. He elaborated on how it disgusts him to look at it, and he gags at the thought of touching it. At first, I thought he was looking for a dumb excuse to break up, but he was dead serious about it. So I agreed to compromise and bleach my forearm hair because I don't want to wax or shave it. He said even if bleaching it would make the hair practically invisible, he'd still know it's there and feel disgusted about it. He told me I had to get it permanently laser removed, as well as my crotch and legs. I said I don't mind having my legs done with laser, but I'm not even sure they can fully and completely remove all of the hair in my crotch area. And while I don't mind temporarily fully shaving or waxing if it makes him happy, I don't want to have all of it laser removed because that's my choice, and I don't feel I should be pressured into doing it. I compromised and agreed to at least think about lasering the crotch area. But if he wanted me to laser remove my forearms and legs, it was only fair he'd pay for it. I've got to say, you're compromising way too much already. Lasering your entire body pretty much is what he's asking you to do. That's nuts. He refused, saying it doesn't cost that much, and since it would be a permanent improvement on my body, and I'd be the one benefiting from it, I should be the one paying for it. I took offense to these comments because I don't consider lasering body hair an upgrade or body improvement. Yeah, he would be the one benefiting. He's the one that wants it. I asked again if he was looking to start a fight to break up because the situation just seemed too bizarre. He said if I wasn't willing to sacrifice something this silly to make him happy, what else wouldn't I be willing to sacrifice further down the road? He said he loves me and wants to build a future together, but I'm not taking his happiness into consideration, and that this is a deal breaker for him. This past few days, we don't live together, he's been sending me messages with quotes from different laser hair removal salons and telling me to make a decision already, and that I'm the love of his life, but I've got to learn to budge to make this relationship work. Reminder, this is happening 14 months into the relationship. To be honest, this whole thing has greatly put me off him, and I'm reconsidering if this is the person I want to be with. I feel pressure to change something about me he's and I have never had an issue with, and I feel he's given me an ultimatum to choose. Either I laser my body and pay for it to please him, or he leaves me. Alright, let's jump straight into the comments here before we get into the first update. Somebody said, he's right, you do need to sacrifice. In this case, sacrifice him and move on. It'll hurt in the short term, but be cathartic for you in the long run. Couldn't agree more, they had me in the first stuff. Someone else said, if you were really the love of his life, he wouldn't tell you that your body disgusts him and he gags at the thought of touching you. I mean, that's just really strange anyway, gagging at the thought of touching someone that has body hair. Like every human ever. Odd. I agree with everybody telling you to get out now, but it might be fun to play along for a bit and agree to laser any part of your body that he lasers first. After all, if body hair disgusts him so much, living in his own must be an ongoing nightmare. Yeah, you just know this guy would never ever laser any part of him. Someone else said, dump him, 2 reasons. 1, he asks you to operate a definitive change on your body to be allowed to stay with him and prove that you can sacrifice things for him. That's a major red flag. And 2, laser removal isn't a light thing. It's expensive, it hurts, it requires you to not expose yourself to sunshine for a while. The whole process is long, And the most important, it can be permanently damaging. Not going to go into details, but it dries up your skin, which is really a problem on the intimate part especially. A lot of dermatologists did say that total laser removal on the vulva isn't recommended at all. Laser removal needs to be done only if you feel like it. I did it because I was extremely insecure, but I would never have done it because someone asked me to. Never. Don't let him take control of your body. Run. I think that's the important bit. If you want to do it, get it done, of course. But if somebody else says, please do it for me, that's just insane. I mean, if somebody else is asking you to alter your body in any way for their benefit and you don't want to, then that shouldn't be a person that's in your life, I don't think, really. And finally, somebody said, well, not to mention, laser hair removal probably wouldn't even work for her if her hair is that light. From what I understand, it only really works if there's a pretty stark contrast between the skin and hair color. All right, let's jump into the first updates. OP says, I've been talking to my mum and brothers today. Actually, 2 of them are here with me now. And after talking to them and reading most of the comments on this, I decided there's no going back. And I'm leaving his sorry butt. One of my brothers asked me to move in with him, and I said yes. He lives in another city from where my ex and I live. I've spent all morning doing arrangements with them. I talked to my boss, and I'm getting some personal days off work until next Monday to sort my situation out. My brothers and I have been packing my stuff all day. It's not much because I live in a small studio apartment and I don't have many belongings, so we should be done moving everything to his house by tomorrow at the latest. Another one of my brothers will come later on with a van to move everything, and that should be done in 2 trips. I texted my ex saying I'm sorry for being stubborn and I'll laser like he asked because I love him and I'm willing to sacrifice anything for him. I said I got an appointment in a local laser clinic tomorrow, but my skin will be irritated after the first session, so I'll need to rest for the day, especially the crotch and legs, so I won't be able to meet him. And besides, I don't want him to see me like that. I told him to come over to my apartment Friday night. I'll order takeout from his favorite place and I'll show him how I look without hair. He said, it's okay. Friday night we have a date, and volunteered to come and take the dog if I'm in too much pain to even walk him. But I said, no, don't worry. My mum's going to stay over to look after me, so she is going to walk the dog. Now, this is all BS, but it's my escape plan so he doesn't get anxious about me not replying and decides to shop up here. I don't want him to know I'm moving out until I'm physically out of the apartment. I don't want him to suspect anything. Maybe I'm being overly paranoid, but better safe than sorry. I also talked to my landlady before and explained I'll be needing to move out now. My lease expires the 1st of June and I've already paid for this month, so it's all good. I also explained I'm getting away from my ex who is being abusive and controlling, and I offered to change the locks in case he ever returned using his key because that would scare to death the new tenant. She's offered to take the cost of it from my deposit, so that is one less worry on my mind. I think I've got everything covered so far. I was initially thinking of breaking up with him in a coffee shop and wanted to give him a piece of my mind, but I think instead I'm just going to do it over the phone the second everything is out from my apartment and I'm at my brother's. I'm just going to send him a text saying a few things and block him everywhere. I don't need to go out of my way to hurt him. I just want to move on, cry it out, and move on with my life. I hope this is the end of it and he doesn't do anything crazy. Again, better safe than sorry. Also, don't worry about the doggy. His papers are in my name. He's got a microchip and I'm taking him with me to my brother's house. Okay, well, a couple of days later, we did get one final update. Let's see if it's good news or not. OP said she hopes this is the end. Well, is it? I just wanted to update you on my situation so far. I dumped my now ex-boyfriend. I sent him a text with a link to the other thread and told him I've decided to laser remove him from my life because I'm not, and shouldn't have to be, willing to make any sacrifices down the road, like modifying my body, for anybody. Wow. I've decided to laser remove him from my life. That is so elite. I told him his unhealthy attitude towards the woman body disgusts me and makes me gag. He's unable to compromise, didn't respect my wishes, space, and boundaries, and I won't allow anyone to pressure me into doing anything I'm not comfortable with by giving me an ultimatum. He's managed to put me off him, and he is not the type of man I choose to have a relationship with. I also added a couple telephone numbers for clinical psychologists, and I suggested that he gets an appointment to sort out his developmental issues, phobia, or whatever the heck is wrong with him. I asked not to contact me again, and I blocked him. Almost straight away, he sent me a video of him from a different number crying his eyes out to the camera, saying he loves me, I'm ruining his life, he had great plans for me, and is only guilty of wanting me to achieve my full potential as a woman. And we all know that, as a woman, your full potential is to have no hair. That's the famous thing about women. You've never really reached your full potential until you are hairless. Women, listening to this, watching this, it's great that you now know that. If you didn't already, you can thank me in the comments. I deleted it and I blocked that number too, OP continues. A couple of hours later, he sent me yet another video of him from yet another different phone number, saying I took things too far by posting it online and making him go viral. And he's not a pedo, and why wasn't I answering the door? What? I didn't finish watching that one either. My brother called him on that number and said if he didn't leave me alone, we'd go to the police, so he better quit harassing me. He's since stopped bothering me. I cried a lot the first day because I was in so much pain inside, but then it hit me. As much as I thought I loved him, nobody that trashy deserves me crying over him. That's one thing I was thinking about. How long do you think in the comments down below it will take OP to get over her ex? Because although it's going to be absolutely brutal at first, it's plainly obvious to me that these two were never compatible and that he is a terrible person. I know a breakup is a breakup, but I feel like as soon as OP realizes that, she'll get over it pretty quickly. His trashy attitude has helped me get over him pretty quickly. Okay, literally just answer my question. Although, of course, I'm still hurt over the disappointment he turned out to be. But being with my brother, I moved in with him in another city, and my puppy is keeping me very distracted. I've been hanging out a lot with my girlfriends, and tonight we're going out to eat tacos and go dancing. The world keeps turning and life goes on. Thank you so much to all of you for your support and kind messages. Alright, and then a couple of final comments. Somebody said, only guilty of wanting me to achieve my full potential as a woman? Oh my goodness, how far up his own butt can he get? Good for you for getting rid of the trash. And somebody else said, he had great plans for her. This statement made me feel like OP would have likely ended up a skin lampshade or Jocelyn Wildenstein. Don't know who Jocelyn Wildenstein is? Not quite sure. I want to research, because I'm pretty sure something terrible would have happened to her, but I get the comments point. Oh my god, that is not what I expected at all. Wow. Let's put a picture of Jocelyn up on screen. Well, there already is one if you are watching this. I don't want to badmouth anyone's physical appearance, although she has chosen to do this herself. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. That looks awful. Yeah, you know what? I take back what I said. That looks so bad. But I get what the commenter is saying. Like, you know, you start off with laser removal because your boyfriend wants you to. Then he's like, oh, could you get a little bit of Botox? Can you get some implants? Can you get some filler? Etc, etc. And you end up looking like this woman. Goodness me. Wow, what a woman. I sort of want to do like an edit of my own face and like make me as Botox as possible. I don't know if that's possible. But if it is, pretty crazy. I just don't know about that sort of appearance. But yeah, somebody said in the comments, once you're a fully plasticized sex doll, your full potential as a woman will be achieved. That's actually a very fair point. I mean, surely that is eventually what OP's ex is pining for. I don't know. Like, asking a woman to have no hair on their body at all. It's just so weird because it's so unnatural. And like, maybe, yeah, in your heart of hearts, you wish the person you're with had no hair on their body. Like, if you were the only person on the planet and it was your ideal world. But surely you then think about yourself and you go, well, I have lots of hair on my body. What if somebody asked me to laser all my hair on my body? I probably wouldn't like that. I don't know. You get individuals like this that just obviously only think about things from their perspective and never from anyone else's. But yeah, if you're not willing to sacrifice your body hair for me now, what are you not going to be willing to sacrifice in the future? Well, it doesn't matter because this relationship is over, thank goodness. I, a 42-year-old man, am getting frustrated with my wife's, who's 37, phone habits. I am a 42-year-old man, and my wife, who is 37, has always been a very chatty woman. She's pretty much on the phone all day with her sister-in-law, her friends, family members, etc. She hangs up with one, and she either calls another one or another one calls her. This hasn't bothered me. I'm not home all day, but recently it started to interfere with the time we spend together. I come down to breakfast and she's on the phone. Literally, the entire time I'm sitting there, she's gossiping on the phone with someone. That used to be our time to talk in the morning, but now she sits there and talks to other people. I brought this up to her and she simply said, "But she works. That's the only time I have to speak to her." Yeah, but what about me? This has also extended to dinner time. I arrive home, she'll have this big dinner cooked, and just as we're sitting down to eat, her phone will ring. She'll tell me and the kids to go ahead and eat, pick it up, walk away from the dinner table, and start talking. In the past, if I got a work call during dinner, she would chastise me for it. "You can call them back. This is dinner time. They need to understand. You're with your family. You're not taking that call now." This weekend, we were supposed to go out for dinner on Sunday night. She got a call from one of her friends as we were getting ready to leave, which she just kept prolonging. I kept pointing to my watch, making the wrap it up sign with my hands, and she kept swatting the air, telling me to leave her alone. 2 hours passed when we were supposed to leave. She finally got off the phone with Dana, at which point she said, "It's really too late to go out now. I'm tired. Let's just do leftovers." When I kept slamming cabinets and huffing at her, she said, "Wow, you've got a hair across your butt today. What's your problem?" I responded, "My problem is we had plans and you blew them off to BS on the frickin' phone for 2 hours. That's my problem. And then you say I've got a hair across my butt. Don't even frickin' start with me tonight." She said that she hadn't talked to Dana all day and needed to catch up. Wait, what? And there wasn't any other time for her to do it. Sorry. All day? I thought you were going to say like all year or something. All day? Wait, so she talks to Dana every day for like a couple of hours or whatever? That's insane. I told her that's unacceptable and we need to start blocking time off that both of us reserve for each other. She said that's stupid. We live together. We shouldn't have to do that. She agreed that we would have a do-over and go out for breakfast yesterday morning. We planned to leave the house at 9. 8:30. I was sitting down on the couch waiting for her. 9 rolls around and nothing. 9:15, still nothing. 9:30 comes and I went upstairs. I hear her laughing and I walk in to find her not showered, sitting on the bed in her pajamas with the phone in her hand. "Hang up the phone," I said. "Let's go." "I'm on the phone," she shouted. "Sorry, Dana, what was that?" I ripped the phone out of her hand, wow, and said into it, "Hi Dana, we're going to breakfast this morning and Tammy can't talk right now. She'll call you back another time. Goodbye." I then hung up the phone, turned it off, and put it in my pocket. My wife went crazy, demanding I give her the phone back, screaming that I had no right to control her time and that she wasn't going to be manipulated. I responded, "No, you're right. You shouldn't have to be manipulated into spending time with me. If you were a decent human being, you would know that's something you should prioritize, not see it as a chore. I'm freaking done. You've obviously made your choice." So, we're pretty much at an impasse. We haven't spoken much since yesterday morning. She said she has nothing to say unless I apologize and return her phone. I told her that if her biggest concern is having a phone right now, then we have nothing to talk about. I've tried offering solutions, but she's so obsessed with that goddamn phone that I don't think she's even hearing me. Alright, before I get into my thoughts on this one, I've just picked out this comment from down below. Now, this comment was actually downvoted by quite a lot of people, and OP responded to it. Listen to this. "I don't think you're behaving like a rational human being at all. Huffing, slamming cabinets, taking her phone right out of her hands and putting it in your pocket. You're acting like a child and you're being whiny and passive-aggressive with her. It doesn't matter that she's behaving poorly." With that said, however, how hard would it be to say, "Honey, when we have time together, I need you to be present with me. Full stop." I kind of get this comment a little bit, but I don't particularly think OP's being childish. I mean, maybe there's a better way to go about it than ripping your partner's phone out of their hand. I probably wouldn't do that. But then again, I'd hate to be in a position where I would feel like I'd have to do that. And it has sort of, it feels like anyway, got to that stage where if you ask her politely, nothing's ever going to change. So something had to be done. Anyway, OP replied to this saying, "Well, you're partially right. My actions as of late are extreme, passive-aggressive, and childish. I hate it. I hate being like this, and I honestly don't think it's healthy." Yeah, fair enough. Very self-aware from OP. does sound like the sort of person that huffing and slamming cabinets isn't normal for him, but he's just been pushed to this. So why am I doing it, OP asks? Because it's sadly the only thing that gets through. Yeah, exactly, there you go. She has a bit of persecution complex. When I said to her, I'm gone from 7:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. It's important to me that we have dinner as a family. I would appreciate it if you didn't take calls during the one meal we all have as a family. Her response was, fine, I won't talk to my friends. After all, I only exist to be your wife. When you're around, I should drop everything to talk to you. I'll just tell my friends that my husband says I can't talk to them anymore. Meanwhile, I pay the phone bill. She's on the phone with people for between 5 to 6 hours a day while I'm not here. That's insane, by the way. If I try being calm, rational, and addressing the issue, she denies that there is an issue, making it seem as if I'm telling her not to talk to anyone, and she acts as if she's so isolated. That could not be further from the truth. When I was having one of these talks with her, her phone rang. I said, please let that go through to voicemail. This is important. She replied, I have to get this. I'm expecting this call from Beth. Well, call her back, please. We're not done, I replied. Well, I don't have anything else to say, she responded and picked up the phone. From what I heard of their conversation, it was pure gossip and BSing. So, as mean as it sounds, I'm through being nice. I'm through handling this with kid gloves, and I'm through with her ignoring this and making me feel as if I'm asking too much of her to actually acknowledge me and her kids during the few waking hours we're home. I mean, that's another great point. Where are the kids in all of this? Like, if they're not getting any attention from their mum, that's really, really bad, to be fair. And it sounds as if like she's either just doing this to, I don't know, cause a huge rift, like she's doing it on purpose because maybe she wants a divorce or she just doesn't want to be around you or the kids anymore, and that's one thing. Or she just has a genuine problem and has got to the stage where she is like addicted to her phone and addicted to calling her and her friends calling her back and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. I'd be surprised if it's the former. I think it's probably the latter. And I do know people that are like pretty addicted to their phone. I don't know people like to this extent where they are calling people for 5-6 hours a day, but I definitely know a few people in my life who are chronically online. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but like they are online the whole time, and if you send them a message, they will see it instantly, reply instantly. It doesn't really matter what they're doing. I'm not the best with that myself, to be fair. I probably am on my phone too much. For me, it is a little bit different though, because I use WhatsApp for work, for example, and contacting people, and I sort of have to be online to be able to actually work throughout the day. Whereas a lot of people I know, or some people I know, for example, probably don't have to do that, but they are on their phones, and it is pretty easy to get addicted to social media, instant messaging, I imagine phone calling as well. But when it gets to this stage, 5-6 hours a day, and you don't realize you have a problem because you're just saying, well, I'm chatting to my friends, sure, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with ignoring your husband and your kids. So I suppose the question I'm asking myself is, do I think she's doing this on purpose or not? And do I think she's doing this maliciously? I don't. I think she just has a problem. Anyway, 1 year later, we got this update. Hey everyone, it's been about a year since I posted, and I thought I'd give everyone an update on how everything went down. It's not the happiest news, but I know people were interested, so I'll share what happened. So, right after I posted, I gave my wife her phone back. In doing this, I said to her, I don't believe I was wrong to be frustrated with you, but it's not my right to take your phone away. I'm going to give this back to you, but with it, I want you to take note of the fact that every time you take a long phone call on it, you are choosing someone else over your family. You are choosing to give that time to someone who is not here while there are family members here who miss you. Wow, that is scathing, but so valid. She snatched the phone back and said, don't talk to me like a child. It's my phone and I'll do what I want with it. In short, things never got better. She was always on it. Dinners were missed, kids felt neglected, and there were days when we didn't say a word to each other because every moment I was home, she was yakking away on the phone. The final straw came at our daughter's 8th grade graduation last June. Right in the middle of the ceremony, her phone rang. At the beginning, they had told everyone to turn off their phones, but apparently that didn't apply to her. I put my hand on her knee and said, No, not here, turn it off. She pulled it out of her purse, picked up the call, and walked out of the auditorium. She missed our daughter walking across the stage. When everything was over, our son and I collected our daughter, and the first words out of her mouth were, "Where's Mum?" We found her outside of the school, leaning up against the building, laughing and gabbling away on her phone. When she saw us, she ended her call and ran over to our daughter and gave her a hug. "Oh, sweetie, you look so great. Congratulations, you did it." When my daughter asked where she was, she claimed that an important call came in right after she walked across and she had to take it. She was lying to our daughter to take a BS phone call. We went to dinner and I didn't speak a word to her. She picked up on this and asked me what was wrong when we got home. I told her, "You've made your choice very clear, Tammy. Thank you." She asked me, "Well, what the heck is that supposed to mean?" I said, "You've chosen the phone over your family. That is clear to everyone." The following Monday, I met with an attorney and I began the process of filing for divorce. A lot of this is a blur, so forgive me if I get the order a bit confused, but I'll give you a summary of what happened. 1. My wife was served with divorce papers at home. She flipped, saying I was trying to control her behaviour, treating her like a child, and that I was punishing her because she had to take a phone call. 2. She ordered me to get out the house. As I'd been the only one caring for our kids for the past few months and summer was starting soon, I refused to do this. I told her that she was welcome to go, but as I was paying for the mortgage and caring for our kids, I'd not be leaving. 3. My wife left and said she was staying with her sister until I came to my senses. She accused me of upending our children's lives right as our son goes into middle school and our daughter goes into high school because we'd have to sell the house. 4. When we bought the house, my wife paid the entire down payment out of her mother's life insurance. My father and brother both generously loaned me money to cover half the value of the house, as well as the down payment. My attorney contacted her, as she had not yet retained an attorney, and told her I wanted to buy her out of the house. He urged her to retain an attorney to review everything. She opted to accept the settlement and signed a, forgive me if I get this wrong, quitclaim deed, essentially removing any legal interest she has in the property. And 5, I closed our bank accounts, had a cashier's check issued for half the value, and had it sent registered mail to her at her sister's house. She signed for it, no problem. I took our children's college funds, which were previously only in my name, and I had my attorney put them into a trust, naming my brother and her sister as trustees. Only with both of their signatures can money be drawn from those accounts. So neither of us has the right to draw on those. It's a lot for my kids to understand, and I try my best not to paint their mother in a negative light. She hasn't made any great effort to see them during this time and keeps telling the kids when she does see them that this is temporary and she'll be back soon. I'm leaping off of a brilliant comment here by someone who said, "Give her the dang phone back and make like Tammy Wynette in a spelling bee." She has a song called Divorce, which I think she spells out letter for letter. Interesting reference, very well played to be fair. My wife, who has not worked since we got married, I did assume that by the way when I was reading this, although I was still questioning, if you're on the phone for 5 to 6 hours during the day, how do you have time to do the other stuff that you would need to do as a stay-at-home parent? Anyway, whatever. She realized that anything she could buy outright for half the value of our house was like Elvis Presley looking for housing in Chicago. She's since retained an attorney and is attempting to get the quitclaim deed invalidated, claiming she's entitled to half the proceeds of the sale of the home as a marital asset. My attorney has told me she has no chance of prevailing in this action and that she signed in about 10 different places saying that she was waiving her right to outside representation and review, in spite of my attorney urging her to utilise an attorney of her own. The courts have been shut down since March, so nothing has moved ahead since then, but God willing, this will be wrapped up by the end of the year. My soon-to-be ex-wife doesn't seem to grasp how serious this is, but at this point, I don't care. She made her choice, and I made mine. Working from home, I get to see my kids all day, and I've never been happier. That's a great ending. As long as you're happy, and you've never been happier, you know what? Your kids are probably happy as well, and they've probably never been happier. She just sounds like a very neglectful woman that wasn't doing any of you any good. Final comment before I give my final thoughts. Somebody said, "I'm curious, what is it that was so important in those phone talks that she blew her own marriage over? Did you ever listen into her conversations? Was she an expert explaining how to stop a nuclear reactor from entering meltdown, teaching a 15-year-old how to land a crippled 777 after both the pilot and co-pilot suffered food poisoning, a hostage negotiator? I mean, we don't even need to read OP's reply here. I already know the answer. The conversations were so pointless and mundane, they didn't even need to be had. Your wife was just addicted to phone calls, and probably still is, and I think that's it really. Or she's just completely lost the plot and has always just been crazy, but I just don't get that impression. I think she just had an addiction and doesn't realise how neglectful that's causing her to be in her actual real important life. OP replied saying, "It was literally gossiping and talking with friends. She didn't see it as a problem. No matter how many times I nicely asked her to put the phone away, I was ignored. I went from asking nicely, to firmly, to telling gently, to telling firmly, to demanding, and she did not respond to any of it. Regardless of my feelings, she was going to take that call. It was one thing when it was ignoring me, but when I saw her lying to my daughter and choosing her addiction, because yes, that's what I'm calling it, over her, I had enough. I mean, sorry. Can I just say, I called it an addiction before OP did, reading this, and I said, when it comes to neglecting her kids, that is when it gets too far. I mean, neglecting your husband's one thing, your kids is too far. I called that as well. Maybe I am a prophet." Anyway, to round this off, OP says she wasn't willing to seek help. She wasn't willing to admit she had a problem. So I was done. And there we go. That is pretty sad, to be honest with you, that somebody can have children and have a loving husband and just have the most pointless conversations on the phone all day. You know what it is as well, because I reckon some of you might be thinking, well, you know, it wasn't just her that was on the phone. She was getting phone calls and other people were talking on the phone for hours as well. Yes, but I don't think they were talking all day long on the phone. Like, I imagine that OP, if you imagine like a mind map around OP, and these are all the people, these are all her friends that are calling her and she's calling them. She's in the center, right? I reckon everyone else is sort of just calling her. Maybe like, you know, one or two other friends, like normal how you would phone your friend or whatever. Not going around like your entire social network, calling them all consistently all day, every day, right? It's clear to me, and it has been clear from the moment I started reading this, that OP's ex had an addiction. And I feel sorry for her that she has that. But her inability to understand how it's affecting her life and see how neglectful she's being to her family, I don't feel sorry for her about that at all. That's just on her. And if she's not willing to fix it, then OP definitely made the right decision. Seems like he was pretty comfortable with it. And the fact that he's happier now than ever is genuinely great news. Hopefully, I mean, if you want to, that is, you can find someone in the future who would actually be a good stepmom for your kids and wouldn't be on the phone for 5 to 6 hours a day. I do feel bad for your kids though. Like, imagine that, an 8-year-old on their big day and your mum is just on the phone talking about absolute rubbish. I'd be gutted. Sorry, she's not 8, she's 8th grade graduate. I mean, that's even worse, right? I mean, not worse, but she's even older. Like, God, mental, absolutely mental. But there we go. Good decision made by all. And that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below, out of the 2 stories, which was your favorite? Which did you feel more emotionally involved in as well? Bit of a tricky question there for some of you, but I'm sure you'll be able to answer it. Good luck. It's a 6 marker. Leave it all out there.